Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Prep Frenzy podcast. I am your co-host, Brighton, MI Game Day, and with me here is our lovely host.
Yeah, Tyler Graham from Michigan Prep Frenzy.
All right, brief rundown of our show here. We're a new high school football podcast covering the state of Michigan. Tyler here has been covering it for a few years. I'm a little bit newer. We are starting up this podcast to bring some more attention to the premier schools, players, and games that we have going around the state.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a nice way for two brothers to spend on Friday nights. So
Absolutely.
All right. I've got a lot on my plate. I run, obviously, the Michigan Prep Frenzy account. Doing photos with you, writing for Prep Red Zone. So tons to do in this fall.
Yeah, and I'll be going along with you covering the sport for our website, migameday.com, as well as doing some photography for you and trying to build my own brand just a little bit alongside you.
Yeah, absolutely. And this fall we'll be doing probably two shows, probably one kind of recapping the previous week, and then one that later in the week kind of previews the next one, lead right into the next. So
right, and then once we get to the off season, we'll probably transition to more of a once a week, but that's when we can really expect to kind of see some of the faces around the sport, talk to some coaches, some other reporters, as well as some players if we're so lucky.
Yeah, absolutely, should be a good time.
Yeah. Well, let's get right into it. I believe you wanted to start with some conference previews. So who do we have first?
Yeah. I went easy here. The OAA Red, about as wide open of a division as there is. Obviously got Hudsonville coming off of a state finals run. Brent Sandy's got that program humming. They averaged almost 30 points per game last year. They replaced their quarterback, but sounds like Brady Van Leek. Sounds like they're pretty high on him. Rockford had what you can call a down year, still 7 wins, still making the playoffs and everything like that. And we'll be talking about them a little bit later. We got a lot there, but they still return 8 starters defensively, and they return their quarterback. So kind of a good sign for them. So
yeah.
East Kentwood, obviously, will be a contender too. Tyrone Spencer coming over from Detroit King last year. He's going to be in year 2. He's got MSU commit, Cade Kaufman, kind of, running the ship. So, but for a 5-5 team, they were incredibly competitive. That's a really good 5-win team.
Yeah, not to damn them with praise, but they were one of the best 500 teams in the state.
Yeah, easily. And that offense really started to click. I think they're starting to, thicken the playbook a little bit, open things up for Kaufman a little bit. And then you still got, Grandville, teams like that. There's no off weeks at all.
That's true. There's definitely a lot of competitive teams here. And I mean, we look at last season, everyone had just kind of written Rockford in as your likely champions of the league. And I mean, look at what happened. We had just about everybody but Rockford competing for that top spot.
Yeah. Losing that weird one to Jenison.
Yeah.
And it's funny too, because you think back to kind of the start of the season, Hudsonville, gets in that battle with Howell, not knowing that both of those teams were insanely good. And then Hudsonville knocks off Rockford, and it's like, whoa, what's wrong with them? But then they kind of got back on the horse, and then the loss to Jenison kind of took all the wind out of the sails. They still got in the postseason as they do. You can almost pencil that in, but still, that's a weird year for them.
And on the other side, Hudsonville, like you said, they had that matchup against Howell that everyone had thought, oh, those are a couple of decent teams. And then, I mean, just a few weeks later, we see Hudsonville, giving just about everything they got, trying to get to that state championship. They made it to the game. They
and
put
knocked
up
off Howell in the process in the postseason.
Did.
So
they did that. That was a solid team. I'm really curious to see how a team like that can really follow up on their success. Can they act like they've been there, done that?
Yeah, that's going to be tough. And I don't think there's, many coaches out there quite like Sandy. I mean, he's probably the guy to do it if anybody is. So, I mean, think about the coaching in that league between, Cummings and Spencer and, all those guys. I mean, that's a powerhouse just of coaching.
Absolutely. I mean, you've got Eric Stiegel been there for 12 years now. Yeah. That's
and they're never bad. they're constantly in it. So yeah, no, I think that entire league is going to be fun. Moving over to the OK Black, that's a weird one for me. Grand Rapids Catholic Central has another, 8 wins, but another weird, almost down year. But Todd Colster heading into his 14th season, I would have no doubt that they're going to bounce back. Sophomore quarterback Odin Spencer has, some varsity experience now, probably getting a little more comfortable in the system. Purdue linebacker commit Braden Sweeney. That's the kind of their anchor on defense. But the story last year was all Northview. I mean, that's for a team to turn around and go 9-0. I mean, that's pretty impressive. Ryan Oshnock, their head coach, has had cups of coffee with a bunch of D1 teams. He's coached around. He knows this deal, and I mean, he knows how it is coaching in West Michigan. That's not easy to do.
No, definitely not. And I mean, OK Black, another one of those conferences that you can go top to bottom and you're going to be facing good teams the whole way through. Yeah.
And I mean, the 3-headed monster between, Northview, who's very clearly good, East Grand Rapids, always good, Catholic Central is going to always be there. Like I said, Oshnock is a really good coach, and he's got them playing well. And of course, they get the reward of, going 9-0 and then having a away playoff game at Byron Center, who ended up in the state finals as well. So not so much of a reward.
No, not really. Well, let's go ahead and move on here to the OK Gold.
Yeah, the OK Gold's fun. Probably one of the most competitive divisions last year. I mean, obviously you had Zeeland West that ended up winning a state title, but now they've got some turnover. John Shalito's, kind of turned over the reins to his longtime assistant. So that's going to be a weird team. I'm sure they're still going to keep the T and all that. They're still going to be tough, but there's going to be some turnover there.
Yeah, you definitely want to see if they can, move forward and avoid any sort of missteps here as a
little bit of hangover.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to, let yourself start looking ahead and losing and focusing on what the program was,
Yep.
Hopefully Ball here just makes it his own.
Yeah.
Keeps building on the success that they've had. Yeah.
I mean, another one that there's no weeks off. You're still going to have to run into Unity Christian. You've still got to run into South Christian. I mean, Unity Christian was a lot of people's favorite last year. I mean, they beat the crap out of their own division. They ended up in the OK Gold outscored their opponents 215-77.
Which in a conference like that is just, it's unbelievable how dominant that they were in conference.
Yeah, and we got a chance to see them at against Forest Hills Eastern, and it was that should have been a good game, and it was just a runaway. That offense is hard to stop. The defense is insanely powerful. Like that's a tough team to beat.
Not a lot of weaknesses there.
No. And South Christian, kind of the same. They had a weird regular season, 5-4, still ended up making a run to the semifinals. I mean, that's tough. Fall to Niles, which is understandable, but replacing Carson Viss is going to be a huge ask. I mean, he was all world everything for him 2 years ago, got him in the state finals and was, inches from being able to score down at the end and win it for him. So that's going to be a huge task to try and replace him.
definitely going to be a task, especially just, like we said, this conference definitely going to be a tough ask to get out there and compete with the likes of Unity Christian and Forestville Central. But
yeah,
if you're going to place your trust in anybody, he's as coach as you're going to find.
Yeah, absolutely. River Cities Alliance, that's kind of this fresh new group that kind of, split off from the OK. And I mean, it's as wide open as any conference is. Coopersville and Lowell both went 5-1 in conference. Coopersville ended up beating Lowell in week 3 to kind of, clinch the thing. But the only reason Coopersville didn't win it outright is they lost to Kanawha Hills, which is another weird one. So,
yeah, I mean, this is definitely, like you said, one of the more open conferences. I'm looking at this, and I mean, I don't even know who could really peg as the favorite here. It's going to be a fun and competitive conference. I'm really interested to see who can kind of come out on top in there. Yeah,
and it's not I don't even know if it's a sleeper pick, but like Kanawha Hills, I mean, he's got Don Fellows there, his son Grayson's there. I mean, they've done a really good job at building the program. They've got a ton of talent, especially at the skill position. They're really good in the skill position. Then you still got Cedar Springs. I mean, no slouch is very familiar with getting to the postseason. Finished 3rd. Greenville's improving. I mean, for where they were a couple of years ago, they're getting better. So yeah, that's as wide open of a division as you'll see.
Definitely. So let's jump from there right on to the Blue Water Conference.
Yeah, take it over to the Thumb. Almont and Armada, both taking really deep runs lately. Cross Lex has been a contender. North Branch has had some years, especially lately. Eli Bickle, big offensive lineman, committed to Michigan State. So, I mean, it's a tough conference too.
Definitely. Those two teams, Almont and Armada, always an exciting matchup between the two.
Yeah, the last 2 games have been decided by a point, and the last 4 meetings decided by a touchdown or less. So, I mean, you're going to get excitement every time.
Absolutely. I mean, if you've got 2 teams playing a high level of football and it comes down to a score just about every time, hard to beat that.
Yeah, it is. And I like that. Like, I mean, we watched Armada last year, and they went toe to toe with a juggernaut Notre Dame prep team. I mean, that was kind of a buzzsaw, but they did their best. I mean, it kind of got away in the second half, but they played them tough in the first half. And they returned some production. Guys like Jack Clee and stuff like that. Like they have talent still, but it'll be interesting to see who maybe graduated a little more and maybe takes that little bit of a step back.
Definitely want to see who's able to just reload and who's starting a little bit of a rebuild.
Yeah, absolutely. Jump over the SVL. I mean, that one's kind of a wide open one, but Davison feels like they kind of, I think that they feel that they should own it. But everything that I hear from Saginaw Heritage is that it sounds like they're going to be pretty good. Justin Thielen over there's got them believing. So.
Yeah, absolutely. That Heritage, I mean, not a ton of history there, but boy, they have come out swinging. And look in there, you can't forget Blanc. That team is just loaded. Yeah. Really, really excited to see what they can do with all the talent on that roster.
Yeah, I mean, you got a third-year guy, Jake Morrow, coming back. I mean, anytime that you have that, you should feel pretty good about it. Then, the skill positions as good as it ever is. But I was watching the Local Legends pod with Jason Hutton and those guys. They had Jake Weingartz from Davison, the head coach, on, and he called Blanc little brother multiple times. There's no love lost. Yeah, he talked about, they beat us last year, but it's always nice to go over there and beat little brother. And he kind of shrugged him off. So it'll be interesting that there's pretty historic rivalry between those teams, and I am not stunned at all to hear him speak like that of them.
Yeah, you gotta love those, close interconference rivalries that
Yeah.
just plain don't like each other, and makes for a good show out on the field.
Yeah, and those teams will be tested early. I think Davison's got Roseville. I think Blanc has Mona Shores. So they're going to be finding the measuring stick pretty quickly.
Definitely. It'll be exciting to see what those top 3 teams can do over there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll take a look here now at the OAA Red. What do you think about this squad, especially Clarkston? They've been kind of the top dog there.
Yeah, and it's funny because we think of them as the top dog, but last year, they completed the circle. I mean, everybody beat everybody. So that was a weird one. Everyone kept, knocking each other off. That's kind of what it is there. It's always a slugfest, but it'll be interesting. I think if anybody is to kind of come out head and shoulders, I think it's Clarkston. We're going to find out week 1 at Wayne State when they take on Belleville. Last year, they went toe-to-toe with them in Alex Wasenko's first shot as a varsity starter. So I would not be stunned to see them put up a fight or knock off Belleville early.
Definitely. That's a great week 1 matchup. I mean, 2 of the top teams in the state really can't get better than that.
That whole event, I mean, the kickoff classic is always absurd. I mean, you're going to have Cass Tech versus Toledo Central Catholic, who I did see got knocked off in week 1, but
no kidding.
Yeah. So, I mean, that could be a fun one. That'll be one that Cass Tech will be able to show out and kind of put their stamp on. Yep, we're the favorite.
Yeah. And I mean, hey, bragging rights against Ohio never hurt.
No. Yeah, no, we'll take any of that.
All right. Well, looking here at the MAC Red, we have our 2 top teams over here in Utica, Eisenhower, Ike, and Dakota.
Yeah, those are 2 good teams. I mean, that last year was a weird one. Ike got them in the regular season, but Dakota got them when it mattered, got to the playoffs and beat them. So that one's gonna be fun. I think it comes down to those 2 again. I think that's kind of where it's trending. I mean, we got to see Ike last year against Clarkston. A lot of talent. I mean, they've got guys committed to Grand Valley. I mean, they've got talent, but it's going to be tough to see where that next tier lines up with them. I mean, I think it's those 2 out ahead, but I mean, Chippewa Valley been down. Sterling Heights Stevenson, I know there's some hope around. Anchor Bay lost a ton. I mean, they kind of were senior heavy. Romeo, there's question marks. So I mean, it's kind of a race for third almost between those teams. But I mean, I think it's a fun 2-headed battle, at least at the top right now.
Yeah, and definitely be fun to see if any of those other teams can, make an upset or 2, and that's usually all it takes.
Yeah, you can grab a share pretty easily if you can knock off one of the favorites.
Yeah. Well, moving on next, we got the KLAA.
Yeah, this one's going to be wild. Belleville they should be the favorite on their side, but I mean, you always have the week 9 crossover.
Yeah.
Brighton's super talented. Howell did it last year and defeated them. I mean, Northville is skilled, super well coached. I mean, you're going to find out pretty quickly between those teams when they start playing each other who's going to be the guy to come over on the crossover. But do you take Belleville or the field in that? I mean, that's kind of the question, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like that's the question every year. And, you say that, but we saw last year that Howell was able to take them down in that final game of their season and lock up the conference. I mean,
yeah, the KLAA is, I mean, their side, I don't think they're going to have much for competition, but I think that west side, whoever comes over from that west side is going to be, I think that'll probably be the team that they really got to worry about.
Definitely. We got a big non-conference matchup there, and we have Brighton, who we have ranked at number 38 in the media poll this season, and they are at preseason number 22 Dexter. No, I'm sorry. They're hosting preseason number 20, Dexter.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one. That's going to be a fun one. I think both of those teams have almost bad tastes in their mouth, after how both of their seasons ended last year. So I think that one's going to be kind of a statement game for both of those teams. We'll see which one can kind of put their stamp on their season. So,
yeah, definitely a great litmus test to start out the season for them.
Yeah, no, that's what you're seeing a lot of. I mean, we heard after the state finals last year, Cass Tech's Marvin Rushing talk about, we wanted to see things early so we could be ready for them later. We played teams like Rockford to get ready for Dakota, teams like that. So I think you're seeing that a lot now. You're seeing out of conference scheduling almost on purpose guys that will get you ready for the rest of the season. So
yeah, you love to see it. I mean, more great high level football for us.
Yeah, fun for us. Absolutely.
All right, and take a step over into the Catholic League.
Yeah, let's wrap it up there.
The CLC.
Yeah, I like Toledo Central Catholic. They're lost in week 1. I mean, it doesn't worry me too much. I think they're still going to be really competitive in this division, but I mean, it's kind of like you said earlier, it's the Ohio versus Michigan thing. I mean, De La Salle, Lake St. Mary's, Detroit Catholic Central, Brother Rice is getting better. I would still put the favorite to win it. I would still put it in the state of Michigan.
Definitely. It's hard for really any of those teams in Ohio to compete with some of the top teams that we see here in the state of Michigan. De La Salle, Orchard Lake St. Mary, Catholic Central, and Brother Rice, like you said, they're all incredibly talented. These are teams that are just loaded top to bottom.
Yeah.
One I'm really curious to see is Brother Rice. They're heading over to Dakota in week 1. And I think that this will be a good week 1 game to see, is Brother Rice ready to make their comeback and step up into that top level of play that we're used to seeing from them.
Yeah, and that's like you said earlier, it's all about the measuring sticks right now, and I think that's going to be one that will challenge you, prepare you. But I mean, they run a gauntlet in their conference, so if we're gonna, they've got to be ready for it.
Definitely. Well, that's about what we want to cover with the conferences. So let's take a look here at the UP in general. Every season we generally see a UP team that ends up in the semifinals or finals. So who do you like this year to make that deep run?
Man, there's a lot of good teams up there. I mean, Marquette has been really solid lately. You've got, Negaunee, Menominee, Kingsford's had a couple of good seasons here. Iron Mountain, always in D8, constantly. I mean, they kind of get, rewarded up there a little bit because they don't really see anyone first couple rounds, and then they get down here, and it's usually a different story. But I mean, this year, I would probably put Negaunee as probably the favorite if they were going to make a run. I would say I think they've got a favorable schedule up there. So, but yeah, no, I think they can rack up some points, come down and surprise some people. We saw them do it a couple of years ago. They came down and they lost to West Catholic in the state finals, but they put it on a couple teams in the playoffs. So,
yeah, I mean, it's always tough for any team to come down and win states, but it'll definitely be interesting to see if we can spot any other UP up-and-comers to come down here and test out some of these schools that we always see coming out of Detroit, Grand Rapids, and some out in the thumb.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, let's get into what everyone wants to talk about, the actual big games of week 1. Yeah. We got some ranked matchups. We've got here number 5 Belleville at number 10 Clarkston, both teams that, we spoke on that they're coming back. They're pretty talented on both sides. I mean, both top 10 teams in the state. What are you expecting to see here in week 1?
Man, I think it's going to be, I think the offenses are going to both be kind of the X factor. I think both teams have good defenses, but I think that Belleville, with obviously losing Bryce Underwood, goes without saying. It'll be interesting to see what they've done, to kind of adjust for that. They've been able to kind of rely on him to make plays, and I think Kendall Franklin's going to step in and do a good job. But to do it at that level right away against a really good Clarkston team in a big moment like playing at Wayne State, kickoff classic, kickoff the season, I think there might be some growing pains there, but I wouldn't be shocked if it went either way, but I would lean Clarkston right now.
And see, I know everyone's talking Clarkston there, but I got to say, no disrespect, obviously, to Underwood, top recruit in his entire class. That goes without saying that he was wildly talented.
Yeah.
But, we've seen it before with Belleville. They tend to reload. They have a lot of talent there, both sides of the ball. And, it's just a matter of, has the coaching gotten Franklin ready? And I think that, people are kind of discounting them just because of that Underwood loss, that I think they're ready to come out and prove some people wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it sure helps to sit behind Bryce Underwood for a couple of years. I mean, that can't help, or that can't hurt, So, no, and I think they've done a good job at that program at, reloading. That's really what it is. It's reloading. So I like that matchup because I think it's going to tell a lot about how D1's going to shape up, especially, Clarkston is, super talented. The Bowman brothers just committed to Ferris. You've got D1 level talent on the offensive line. So I think that they'll compete. I think they're gonna be fun to watch. But yeah, I would lean Clarkston maybe just because of how many returners they have and kind of the chemistry that they probably have. But
yeah.
The pure talent probably leans to Belleville. So we'll see which one actually kind of comes out on top on that.
For sure. Well, next we have slightly smaller schools, but still two of the biggest competitors in the state year in, year out. We've got number 47 Frankenmuth heading over to number 31 Goodrich. How do you think the Martians are going to fare there?
Yeah, they returned some. They lost some, but I think they return a good amount. And this matchup has just been fun year after year. They've scheduled each other the last few years. Frankenmuth, Phil Martin, just one of the greatest coaches of all time. He's up there with the greats in the state of Michigan. So both of them are incredibly well coached. Both of them have talent. I still think I like Goodrich. I think that's just, it's hard to bet against them the last few years. They've been really good. They've made it to state finals multiple times. Finally got it done last year. I think I think the Martians are probably the one to see this one.
Yeah, they're looking like another buzzsaw this year. Just like you said, they finally got it done, but boy, they were right there, right on the edge for so long.
Yeah. Yep, that'll be a fun one.
We expect them to keep that going.
Yeah, I do too.
All right, next we got number 21 Byron Center at Hudsonville.
That's a tough one. Two teams that probably also have bitter taste in their mouth, but for different reasons. Byron Center and Hudsonville both lost in the state finals last year. Not very often that you see two teams that got to Ford Field play each other in week one, but to be just a few miles from each other, I think that's even more special. But that one's going to be tough because both of those teams will have some turnover in some key areas. But like we talked about, they reload too. And Byron Center, it sounds like they're very confident that they've kind of retooled to, and they're going to rely on their run game campaigns, kind of a do it all bell cow type back. I think he's going to be there when it counts. So I think that game's going to be fun. I would probably lean, Byron Center probably, just because I think I like their confidence a little bit more right now. But I think both teams I think that'll be a good one. I don't think that one gets away from either of those teams.
Yeah, I think it's definitely an interesting matchup in week one. We're going to see, two teams that are both coming in with something to prove. Byron Center, like you said, they're retooling at a lot of positions. They're a pretty run-first offense, so you would hope that would ease their quarterback transition there. But Hudsonville, they kind of came as a bit of a surprise for a lot of people last year, and I think that this is a big game for them to prove whether or not they actually belong up at the top level of the game in the state.
Agreed. Yeah, absolutely. Especially in that conference, you're gonna know who you are pretty quick. So
yeah. Well, next we'll head over to Muskegon Mona Shores, where they are hosting Grand Blanc. That's number 13. Grand Blanc at number 12, Mona Shores.
Yeah, this is evenly matched of a game. I mean, I know there's not very many question marks with Grand Blanc right now, but there's a couple question marks with Mona Shores with the loss of George Duggins, their Dartmouth commit, that kind of was all world everything for him last season. So there's going to be some question marks there, but I mean, they return a bunch, so it's kind of what can you take from last season, kind of apply to this season, and I would say Mona Shores it will probably get it done. But I was at Grand Blanc's midnight practice, and they look just as sporty as they ever did. So I think there will be something to say about that. I think this one's going to be lots of points, though. I think both of these offenses are going to be pretty explosive. So,
yep,
take the over.
This could very well be just a game of last one with the ball.
Yep, track meet, shootout.
Boat race. Love to see it.
Race. That's right.
All right, next we got number 30, Muskegon, coming off of a pretty disappointing season, but, still coming back with a lot of talent, heading over to number 22, Grandville.
Yeah, that's a tough one. And like you said, that was really tough for them last season. And it felt like a couple bounces goes their way. I mean, they were close. They were right there. They kind of let it slip away when we were there against Mona Shores. Rockford game was kind of right down to it. So that's going to be really, I don't want to say a chip on their shoulder, because I mean it's Muskegon. They should be, confident as ever. I mean, but yeah, I think they're gonna have a little bit more of a sense of purpose this year. So
yeah, definitely want to prove that last year was an anomaly and not the norm.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, next we have number 15 Davison heading over to number 35 Roseville.
Yeah, this is another one that I like the over. I think that's probably the way to put it. I think this one's going to be a ton of fun. But I love what Jackson Dosh does at quarterback. He does a little bit of everything on the ground, through the air. He's a leader, guy you can rely on. Weingart just speaks so highly of his character, how he leads the team, during their, dead week and stuff like that. He was still working out. It's just one of those, he just gets it. And Western Michigan commit, he knows what he's doing. He can lead this team. And I just think that they go up and down the field pretty easily, and I'm not sure that they're going to get slowed down by Roseville.
Yeah, it's a tall task to put the brakes on that team for anybody.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we get a nice competitive game there, but definitely going to be some points either way.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, and now we have number 23, Utica Eisenhower, and Ike is heading over to number 45, Riverview.
I always think of Riverview as a smaller team, but they're not. But I mean, they're a couple divisions down. They run the T, they execute it well. It's one of those teams that challenges anyone that plays against them. It doesn't matter if you're a bigger or smaller school, whether you're more talented. They execute so well. And you heard everyone from Detroit King talk about that way after the state finals when they talked about Zeeland West. It was it doesn't matter how talented we are, because they just execute at such a high level. And I think that Riverview's that same way. I think Ike still wins this game, but I don't think it's a blowout like people might expect.
No, I'm with you there. I think Ike's got a pretty good shot to win this, but man, I don't think it's going to be fun for him.
No. I mean, you got to line up for 4 quarters and play FU football in the box. I mean, that really sucks, and that's why, Riverview makes such deep runs in the playoffs and stuff like that. It's just when it gets cold and you got to line up for 4 quarters and stack the box, like it just wears on you, and that's just their MO. So no, I think they'll be. Yeah, absolutely.
They'll make you earn it.
Yep, absolutely. They snatch your soul. They just really punish you. So I wouldn't be shocked if this one's a little bit closer. I think it's kind of lower scoring. I wouldn't be stunned at all if this game's within a touchdown or 2.
All right. Next big matchup we have is number 20 Dexter at number 38 Brighton.
Yeah, and Brighton's another one that doesn't shy away from out of conference at all. I mean, Dexter's as good as they come, but I've seen Brighton, when they played at Michigan, when they played in the big house, they played against some good teams there. So I like that they're challenging themselves, but I am really high on what Brighton has coming back. I mean, I think they're super solid in the line, both sides of the ball. I think I like them in this one, and I wouldn't count them out from being the one that comes over from the other side and gives Belleville a run for their money.
Oh, yeah, definitely pretty talented team, and obviously year in, year out, very well coached.
Yep.
Curious to see how they match up with Dexter here. Dexter, I mean, about as fun a team as there is to watch in the state.
Yep.
Should be, at the very least, an exciting game, and with how these two teams play, I'm definitely expecting it to be a pretty close game.
Yeah, and the Dreads play tough, especially in games where they're always counted out. Like it seems like every year they play a non-conference game that they're counted out from and end up, kind of making a statement against those teams. So I think this is their shot this year. They're super talented again. I think they're going to be fun.
Yeah. So a couple of unranked versus ranked, but Brother Rice, who's one of our teams that didn't quite break the rankings, but they were still receiving votes, they're going to be at number 6 Dakota. This is the one that I said, it's a big proving point for Brother Rice. Can they show, not even winning, can you keep it close here and just show that you're ready to be playing with the big boys again?
Yeah, that's a program that, sleeping giant is the way to describe them, really. I mean, and Marshall's done a good job so far over there. I mean, they're super young. Every guy that I see, getting these D1 offers is 2027s, 2028s, 2029s. It's like, it's crazy how young they are. But I think this year will be, I don't know if you'll see it in wins and losses, but I think all of their games are going to be really competitive. And I think maybe this year could be the year, but if not this year, next year's the year that they take that step.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to see them break through. They're one of those teams that, football in the state of Michigan is better when they're a good team.
Yep. Yeah, and playing against a historic program like Dakota, you're going to be able to prove yourself pretty quick.
Absolutely. Now we got number 37 East Lansing at Portage Central. Portage Central, another team that didn't quite crack the top 50, but they're right outside, and a win here would easily launch them up into our rankings.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everyone's pretty high on East Lansing, it seemed like. I mean, I was a little bit surprised maybe that it came in at 37, but it's not a surprise. I mean, they're super consistent. But yeah, Portage Central receiving some votes. I like what they've got going on there. They've been pretty consistent at putting good product on the field. They've got to get out of that, area in the playoffs. They kind of get grouped in with the rest of them over there, and it's hard to get out of that area. So
for sure, I'm watching that game just because I'm with you. I was a little surprised at East Lansing's ranking, and Portage Central, not to get too in the weeds here, but they were definitely a team that I had ranked in my polls. So
yeah,
I'm sitting here looking that, hey, you know what? Maybe they can go out there and prove me right.
Yeah, absolutely. I would not be shocked at all. They're pretty dang talented. So,
all right. Well, moving on. Last game we have to preview here is our game of the week. Tyler, why don't you let the people know where we're heading this week?
Yeah, we're gonna head over to Rockford. Second year in a row that we open up there. They're hosting Saline. Second year in a row more than second year in a row, but another year where they host a elite program early in the season. Last year it was Cass Tech, who they beat even. So, I mean, it wouldn't be too stunning if they did again. Everyone's kind of maybe not down on them, but it's weird. Like they have one down year and suddenly they drop in everyone's rankings. But I've talked to a couple people in the program and they've been like, we're gonna kind of surprise some people this year. I don't think people remember who we were before. So
yeah, definitely a matchup I'm looking forward to. I mean, we saw both of these teams last year, and I mean, Rockford, I'm going to be honest, pretty surprised with the season that they had, considering what they did handling Cass Tech in week one. This year, bring in another just absolute powerhouse, and this might be my favorite QB matchup of the week, seeing Daniels and Carr battle it out.
Yeah.
I think that, Carr might have some more weapons around him that, can really play at that next level in the game.
Yeah.
But Daniels, they've been saying some good things about him coming through this summer, and we're hearing some good progression around him. And he definitely showed that he's ready to be a leader on this team.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to watching those two QBs face off.
Yeah, it should be really fun offensively, and Saline is obviously really loaded defensively, and Rockford feels that they can compete there. They feel like they're kind of in that same boat. They think they're pretty loaded there. Maybe the offers aren't the same, but I think that the continuity together, I think they're going to be pretty solid there.
Definitely. And we saw it last year when, like I said, going back to that Cass Tech game, they might not have had the stars next to their names, but those guys were as well coached as anybody you're going to see in the state, and they have a nose for the ball.
Yeah. Brent Cummings is as good of a coach as there is. There's no denying that. But maybe they didn't have the stars by their name, but you saw it. I mean, you could really see it when they kind of jumped out to that lead, and in the second half, suddenly, Cass Tech started making their comeback, and good teams don't fold, and they didn't fold at all. So I would not be shocked if they did kind of the same deal this time. I think that they're going to have, opportunities in this game. And for what it's worth, they have an actual home field advantage as a high school. Like, there's not many teams that can say that.
No. That place, though, they get loud, and it is tough to play and harder to win there.
Yeah, it's big. It's big, loud stadium, lots of people. I mean, the atmosphere. I mean, you pull in there at 4:30, 5 o'clock, and there's people out there tailgating, and there's a line at the gate waiting to get in, and they open that gate and people flood in, and it's like not many places are like that, especially for as good of an area as it is football wise. You don't see that a lot in Detroit. Like, the Detroit teams don't get that kind of support. I mean, the visitor side was overflowed with Rockford fans that just couldn't find a seat on the other side of the stadium. So that's a tough place to play, tough place to come into, but Saline's played in some tough environments too. We watched them last year in the playoffs at Belleville. Like, they've seen it all.
Yeah, I mean, Saline coming in here ranked at number 8 in our poll, Rockford at number 18. It's not that people think Rockford can't win. It's just, after a quote unquote down year from them last year, we need to see them, prove that that was just a down year and not, some sort of new norm for them.
Yeah. And Saline, I mean, they're talented and they're well coached too. I mean, that's a team that also kind of has a bad taste in their mouth. They got kind of not embarrassed, but I mean, they got dominated in that Belleville game last year to end the season.
They did. Yeah, I mean, especially in the trenches there, they just got outmanned. You know, I had to say I left that game just kind of feeling bad for Tommy Carr there, because that guy was just running for his life on every down. And, you know, there's talent there, but hard for you to make a whole lot happen when you don't have time to think.
Yeah, absolutely. And truth be told, I'm probably higher on Saline than most people. I think I had them in my top 5 in my rankings. So we'll see if they prove me right.
I'm right there with you. They were in my top 5 as well. I was actually a little surprised to see them come in at 8. Just, you know, they're well coached, but even outside of that, I mean, sometimes you just got to look at the talent there and say, you know, not a lot of guys have someone on their team, you know, committed to Georgia of all teams.
Correct. That is true. Yeah. Super big weapon. So,
and next, a game that unfortunately you won't be able to make it to, but I will be heading down to Armada on Friday to catch them hosting Marine City. Armada, a place I've been wanting to get to for quite a while now. Was pretty bummed we didn't get to catch them playing Almont last year, but seeing them week 1 against Marine City, see how they can follow up last season. Pretty excited. Yeah,
that's those are 2 programs that are super good, rich tradition. Marine City's obviously lived at Ford Field for a while, but that one's gonna be difficult for Marine City to, you know, stop that offense. I think Armada's offense is really powerful. And they're kind of coming off of a couple of years where maybe they've been down, I guess you would call them. But I love a good matchup like this, that D5, D6 range. I love matchups like this.
And, you know, this is another one of those teams that Armada, we saw them against Notre Dame last year, and they're going to be coming in with a bit of that sour taste in their mouth.
Yep. Yeah, that's 2 teams that want to put themselves on the map, especially over in that thumb area. So, yeah, that one's going to be fun, and that one kind of sets the tone for the rest of the season for both of those.
Definitely. Well, everyone, I think that's all we have for today. So, thank you for listening, for catching the first episode here of the Michigan Prep Frenzy podcast. I've been your co-host, Braden. You can follow me on Twitter at MI Game Day. This has been Tyler, or Michigan Football Frenzy.
Yep, at MICHFB Frenzy, and I've got all my other stuff linked there as well, and you can check me out. I've got articles coming on Prep Red Zone at all times, so we've got a lot in store. So
yeah, give us a follow, tag along for the season, and you know, see what we have cooking up in the off season too.
Absolutely, let's do it.
All right. Been a pleasure, brother.
Yes, sir.